this point in time, with all your AP classes, your extracurriculars, your sports, and your social life, that your parents tell you that they decided to separate? Good afternoon. I'm Haley Young, and today we will be discussing to what extent does parental separation affect adolescents from ages 13 to 18 psychologically in the state of Florida. For many of you, you have either gone through parental separation or you've witnessed it with one of your friends. Parent separation is whenever parents decide to separate whenever they have a child, whether divorced or not. A vital part of an adolescent's mental stability is parent-child relationship. This is whenever an adolescent's behavior affects the way that a parent influences their life. So whenever a child is acting negatively and gives off anger and aggression or sadness towards the parent, they sometimes back off from the parent-child relationship, and this can negatively affect a child's behavior, and it's a vicious cycle that can go back and forth. Feeling sad and angry, adolescents' negative behavior can result in a loss of parental influence, relying on peers instead, or becoming socially isolated. The following are issues adolescents from ages 13 to 18 have reported when going through separation. Based on from What About the Children, a guide for divorced and divorcing parents, including problems sleeping, poor concentration, trouble at school, drugs and alcohol abuse, self-injury, eating disorders, and so on. Which is why it's important for parents to be devoted to their child when during the time of separation. Supported by the article, A World Without Work, raising your child is essential, and these jobs are compensated poorly or not at all. In a post-work society, Hinnicut said people might spend more time caring for their families, in which it doesn't mean that the parents completely have to stop work. Yes, that would be nice in a situation where children are going, especially adolescents, are going through separation so that their time can be focused on supporting their child through that mental tragedy. But taking off time work or not spending late shifts at work would be important. Becoming resentful, rebellious, even self-defeating, separation can be a hard time for adolescents, although some reported feeling relieved to not have to be in a household with such conflict. But the majority of children do feel bad and negative effects, as said by the children's experiences of parental separation. Currently in the state of Florida, today we will be discussing specifically the state of Florida, and this is because it varies state by state how the court requires what therapy course is required for students. So currently it's a 4-hour parent education and family stabilization course for separating and divorced parents. This will be put into place for adolescents as well, and required as a 4-hour adolescent mental health and separation support course by the court in the state of Florida, ranging from $18 to $39, as well as it does for the parent course. It will be specifically paid for by parents, meant specifically to and individually help children cope with their parent separation with the help of a therapist. Although there are other solutions put into place, adolescent support group, while this can be beneficial, it is not the best choice because in a support group, they're not getting one-on-one perspective from a therapist, because everybody that experiences parental separation as a child has different viewpoints and deals with it differently. And another option would be open communication of the family. However, this is not a secure solution because parents, they parent differently in every household, so it wouldn't be secure. Thank you. Any questions?
Yes, I have two. First question: what information did you need before you began your research, and then how did that information shape the actual research that you did?
Well, at first I was looking at custody arrangements for parents and how that affects psychologically teenagers and adolescents. But then I found that I needed research to focus on specifically like the effects of how they were affected psychologically just by parental separation. So that included like divorce and whenever just parents were being separated and they weren't married. And it kind of led me to have to find like different solutions. Like at first I was going towards family communication, but I found that there wasn't enough research to support that as a solution, so I had to resort to therapy, forced therapy.
All right, and last question. What advice would you have for other researchers that consider this topic?
I would recommend definitely looking into every perspective that you possibly can, because it's very important definitely to view the adolescent's point of view, and that can kind of, I don't know, it can drive you to only focus on that, so try to focus on other perspectives as well in that situation.
All right, thank you.